Would you believe that there is someone in this world who actually knows you, the real you, the complex you, past, present, and future? In fact, he's already done a complete character profile on you. Welcome to Nightsounds. I'm Bill Pearce. Tonight's program subtitled Someone Knows You. That could be a bit unsettling to some, especially if they didn't want to be known that well or completely. But you know, you, along with the rest of the world's confused, may have spent much of your life in front of distorted mirrors as a part of a lifelong comedy routine, trying to look either horribly ugly or wonderfully beautiful. We're told by many counselors to fully understand ourselves. We must find someone whom we can trust and verbalize our feelings to that person. Well, this profile that I mentioned a moment ago of who you are has actually been done on you in the Holy Bible. This morning I prayed, Lord, who am I? And sometimes you look around and you might even say, and who are these people? Who are they really to me?
I've worked all my life. Some things came to me easy. I accepted the Lord in the midst of my strife. And now I'm striving to please. He said, I know your deeds, I know your heart, perseverance in my name. And you cannot endure the evils of men. Just remember from where you came and come back to your first love. How much more can you endure? Come back to your first love. Come back to the Lord. I remember meeting new saints, such a sight to see, each one with a smile on his face. They all seemed perfect to me, but I fell prey to the grumblings of man. I gave in to a cynical heart, and I lost the joy of a springtime romance. I've got to get back to the start and come back to my first love. How much more can I endure? Oh, come back to my first love. Come back to my Lord.
Come back to your first love. Who might that be? Maybe you haven't particularly known anyone that intimately. However, there is one, and as you heard Don Potter singing there, that one is God Himself. That might be a bit difficult to grasp right off. Tonight, what I would certainly want to do is to provide some peace, relaxation, and release from internal pressures. I suppose if we were to know ourselves, it would be a difficult project. We're told to study our past, listen to our friends, seek competent counsel, check with the family. But really, who actually knows oneself? No one possesses the type of X-ray vision needed to even understand who we are. We have some knowledge of factors that impressed our lives and influenced us. But is there anyone who is capable of feeling the true psychological pulse of your heart? I think most of us, if we look into our past, finds that no one really knew it all. I look back in my past, and I'm going to have to confess that even my parents, who were probably closer to me than anyone, didn't actually know what was going on. No one even pretended to comprehend my future. Self-acceptance can never be achieved while drifting through the foggy, imprecise notions of a baffling secular humanism. And so many tonight are locked into this, a baseless philosophy of life that denies the fact of God. Might I say for a surety tonight, the fact of God is constant and forever. And the fact of God is necessary to the fact of man. Divine authority does exist. There is purpose for your life. There's a sanctity and indestructibility of human life. Tonight, I would say again that our program Nightsounds is theologically based. I can't think of any other factor that would give us the validity and the dependability, because things are too much in flux. To whom are we going to look for ultimate accountability and truth? Even the most enviable person we've ever met has flaws. So may we say tonight that there is only one source of undistorted, undisputed truth. There's only one who knows the total truth about you. And there's only one who loves you enough to reveal that truth to you. I think most of us would agree that a good friend is one who knows us and still loves us, still respects us, and is not afraid to tell us the truth, especially if there's something in that area of truth that would harm us. As the Hebrew poet wrote in Psalm 139, "It is God who has searched me. It is God who has known me. It is God who knows when I sit down, when I rise up. It's God who understands my thoughts before I even think them. It is God who knows my direction before I even walk in it. It is God who is intimately acquainted with all your ways. It is God who knows it all. It is God from whom I cannot hide. God who formed me. It is God who made me. It is God who plotted my whole existence before I was even born." Those words were written a long time ago under the inspiration of the Lord God through the psalmist in Psalm 139. And those 12 statements qualify God to tell me who and what I am. And just in case more evidence might be required to convince us of God's limitless credentials, look at the book of Job, chapter 38, and reading through to chapter 41. This reveals the infinite distance between our understanding and God's. In fact, God asked Job 70 questions, none of which Job could answer, but all of which are basic knowledge to God. And the God-man, Jesus, who came on the scene about 2,000 years ago, on many occasions displayed his ability to tell us the truth about ourselves. The word in the Gospel of John, chapter 2, verse 25, reads, "He did not need anyone to bear witness concerning man, for he himself knew what was in man." So nobody needed to inform Jesus who would betray him. John 6:64, quote, "For Jesus knew from the beginning who they were, who did not believe, and who it was that would betray him." Do you remember the first time Jesus saw a fellow named Nathaniel? They'd never met. And as this guy Nathaniel approached, Jesus did a complete character profile on this total stranger by commenting, "Behold, an Israelite, indeed, in whom there is no guile." And those three mighty words in John 5:42, he spoke to all of us, to you tonight and to me. He stated simply, "I know you." So, there is someone who knows you, the real you, the complex you, past, present, future. And as we mentioned at the beginning of the program, he's already done a complete character profile on you in the Scriptures. Don Baker, in his beautiful book Acceptance, wrote, "God has painted a multi-dimensional portrait of me, one that displays me as I truly and really am. And then he flashed a statement for all to see that provides the key to my prison door. He said, 'And you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.'" And these words found in John chapter 8. So, if you want to know all about you, it's already been written word for word in the Scriptures. I suppose we could become a little bit juvenile and begin to ask questions like, okay, what am I going to do in the next 5 minutes? Who am I going to see today? Am I going to meet somebody who is going to knock me off my feet or sweep me away? Am I going to find love today or come into some big money? God knows about that too, but he's not going to spell these particular items out for us moment by moment. Who'd need faith then? We're speaking about who we are. We want items. We want personal conveniences. He's more interested in our character. And if we want to become comfortable with ourselves, accept ourselves, learn to live with ourselves, and if you want to get acquainted with the real you and I with the real me, something more is required. That something more is humility. Genuine humility, or lowliness of mind, as some versions read. There's an old love song. I don't know whether any of you will remember this. Getting to know you, getting to know all about you. That's how it starts. I can't recall the rest of it, but a lover wants to know the loved one. And anyone considering marriage would find it the better part of wisdom to come to know everything he or she can about that partner. I won't begin to spell it out, but as much as is discreetly possible to know about that other person, how his or her mind works, the deepest recesses of the heart, what his or her desires really are, where their passions lie. What are their weaknesses? What are the danger signals, the red flags? As we mentioned on another program, it takes something like 4 years to get a plumber's license, but it doesn't take any requirement to get a marriage license, except to show up. Well, you have to have a blood test and a couple of things like that, but as far as real preparation, nothing is basically required for the most important encounter in all of life, outside of salvation. Getting to know you. God knows you. Something about meeting Jesus Christ in an honest, forthright way, praying to Him in your own way and asking Him to enter your life, take over the reins, the control of your life. This kind of an encounter brings an honesty and begins to build a solid fiber and humility within the soul and spirit. It gives us another frame of reference, other than our own five senses and the things that make us feel good. All the way from the 60s, I guess, this quote, "If it feels good, do it," has been bantered around. And in the 90s, it's more visible than ever. There is no accountability. You are God, says the New Age. Whatever you think is right, whatever is meaningful, well, that's it. Feel free. The sky's the limit. One of the things we would like to have, I think, is peace. Peace of heart. Most of us are bound with some sort of guilt or other factor that sort of beleaguers us day by day. We sense an uneasiness, and we'd like to take care of it. Jesus said, "Peace I leave with you. My peace I give to you, not as the world gives. Let not your hearts be troubled, neither let them be afraid. I know you. I can give you peace. Real peace." Let's listen further as soloist Sandy Patty sings about it to you.
Sometimes when you're in the valleys, all of your burdens you carry alone. Oh, but I know when you need me, come, I'll be there, longing to prove how much I care. Peace I'll give you, when the wind blows on. Peace, whenever you call me, I'll give you peace, when the wind blows on. Heartaches, whenever your heart aches, I want to be there to help see you through. flow on. No matter how long the night may last, I'll keep you safe till the storm is past. Oh,
Sandy Petty, I'll give you peace when the wind starts blowing and the waves start beating against your soul and spirit. This is Nightsounds. I'm Bill Pearce. Tonight's program subtitled Someone Knows You. It's good to be aware of that, even though, as we mentioned a moment ago, it may be a little bit unsettling to think that someone knows you as well and better than you know yourself, and still loves you and accepts you just the way you are. Yet he can touch you and make you a better person. He can give you an eternal destiny with him, which we don't have automatically when we're born. Some people have sort of an inflated idea of who they are. It's a synthetic, and they may sort of bounce around on this kind of an aura through life, not really facing the facts. Do you remember Muhammad Ali, the great former heavyweight boxing champion of the world? He was one walking ego trip. I was just reading about a flight attendant who asked Muhammad Ali to fasten his seatbelt. Ali said, "Superman don't need a seatbelt." To which the stewardess replied, "Superman doesn't need an airplane either." So I think we need to know what kind of a realm and environment we're in before we start making grandiose statements, especially about God and our destiny, if we haven't met him. One of the things that I really appreciate about God's dealings with the human race and with the individual is that we are persons. We have identity. He could have made us machines where we would have had no choice. We'd have just gone along on a ride of life and no responsibility. But let's just remember this greatest love of all time. This is what we need. God loved the world so much that he gave and gave, beginning with his Son. Then he'll begin to give you peace and love and a self-assurance in him that you are known and loved forever.
Hear him knocking, hear him pleading, for he loves you, my friend. Yes, he loves you, my friend, today. Receive him. his children for eternity.
He died that we might be his children for all eternity. Now this is something to sing about, the Paul Johnson chorale beautifully portraying it for us. I think sometimes of Adam, the first man in Genesis 1 through 3, we read about him and Eve, and there he was lying on the ground, perfectly formed but not yet alive, with God leaning over him, in a sense performing sort of a mouth-to-mouth resuscitation on him, giving him life, making him biologically alive, but with the breath of life. The other animals needed no special treatment like this of oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide to start them breathing. So why should man? But this breath of God symbolizes for you a spiritual reality. You are alive. You're part of a string of living people. More than animal vitality, God breathes into us a new spirit, infills us with his own image. Adam became a living soul, not just a living body. So God's image isn't an arrangement of skin cells or physical shape. It's an inbreathed spirit, which you have in you, which makes you very special. Same with me. So let's begin to thank him, to turn our lives over to him. Let him take them, because he can do a lot more with them than we can. So don't be alarmed that somebody knows you intimately, better than anyone else in all the world, and loves you intensely. Let's give our allegiance to him, our hearts, our intellects, our lives, our spirits, our future. Thanks for considering this. You are a very special person. I respect you highly. Also love to hear from you, see who you are. What's on your mind? Our mailing address is Nightsounds, Wheaton, Illinois, 60189. If we can help you with other attendant ministries, the Quiet Moments book, the treasure of recorded albums and tapes, please let us know. And until next time, thank you again for being there, for listening, for being my friend. Good day to you tomorrow. Remember, you're special. Somebody knows you and loves you. With that I say, good night.